just a good old boy.
Alright y'all, today we are working in the shop. I've gotten all the hay ground sprayed, and we've got to, now all we like is cow pasture land. I'm in here right now. I've got to get caught up on some of this hay equipment and getting it knocked out and ready to go, because we are going to be starting very soon. Got the square baler put back together. The sprocket went on, works perfect, went together perfectly. We'll see how it works. Placed some of the teeth. Got the machine back perfect in time. At least we think we do. The knotters and all, got all those adjusted, tuned up, ready to go for this year. Got the knives internal inside, they're good to go. On the plunger, the bottom plunger knife, the one in the bottom of the chamber and the one on the front of the plunger, got it knocked out. Got the chains tension. Got this side tuned up, or the chain tension on it. We tightened the main drive chain. We tightened the knotter chain. Got the knotters in time and timed correctly. We've went through everything on this baler from the ground up. And hopefully, I don't know until we turn it on and see what it does, but hopefully everything should work. Anyway, it should work slick like it did when it was brand new. So we'll see. Don't really know till we get to knocking some hay out if something's out of whack or not, or if we didn't get something quite right. What you are looking at here is a kit. This is a kit to take this from a nut and bolt adjustment for your bale length that goes right here to a toolless bale length adjustment. This is what comes on all of the new 1840s balers, is a toolless bale length adjuster. Cane Equipment tipped us off about this, and we got one to go on here. It's got a large wing nut. You just loosen it up here and you screw this knob for your height, for your length adjustment, and you tighten the big wing nut down. No more do you need a 1/2 inch wrench with 2 bolts to have to adjust it and everything. It's set up now just like the 1840s are with that. This is brand new to this year. If you might want to check out one of those kits, see Cane Equipment. And they'll take care of you. Good people to work with. Excellent people to work with. They're our dealer for just about everything. They're our Claas, Kuhn, Massey Ferguson, just about anything we got. They used to be a Chrome dealer. That's where our Chrome equipment came from. The big Tex trailer and everything came from there. Really good people. The Maxlater, the Kuhn's manufacturing accumulator come from there. Great people to work with. If they ain't got it, I don't know where you're gonna find it. Couldn't say more about those guys over there. They've been real good to us over the years, y'all know, and worked with us on a lot of different things. So y'all check them out. Jody and Cabe over there, they're really good people, and they've got a great group of employees over there. I know just about every one of them by name. They're excellent people to deal with and work with. So y'all check them out. All right, we got to work on the mowers. We've got to get the mowers ready to go. We've got to get hay started soon and getting it on the ground pretty quick. So we're going to pull out the Claas conditioner. I'm going to give it a bath. We try to get that done, and then we're going to service it. I got to get that thing tooled up and ready to go at a moment's notice. We are pretty well just waiting on the right weather. There's some guys starting now. I know it has started. We are going to hopefully get in the field within the next week, but we'll see. You just never know the way the weather's going to be and how things are going to go. Well, we got the mower out, the conditioner, the 3150 Disco. Got her cleaned up and everything. Did check the gearbox oils up here and the other gearbox back here. Now what I'm doing is actually checking the bar oil And then I'm gonna start up, let clean this bar off underneath here, sling all this dirt out. But with these conditioners, they're different than a regular disc mower, and then they're similar too if you've never had one. With the 3-point motors, you know, you fold them straight up in there, and then they'll have 2 of these little Allen head plugs in them. One will be at the bottom to drain the bar, the other one will be so far up, and obviously you fill it till it runs out, or it should run out when you pull the plug out when it's standing up. Well, on these, that's typically how most 3-point fold-up mowers are. On these conditioners that stay level or flat all the time, you actually have plugs like this, just like the 3-point fold-up ones. But you pull these out and you actually stick something down in there, and you measure how much fluid is touching whatever you put down in there and how deep it goes down. You need a level piece of ground. Some of them even say to block them up and put a level on them and make sure they're perfectly level, or set them up a certain way to check. It depends on what your owner's manual calls for. But I'm on this one here, you just let it down flat on level ground. But just to explain this to y'all, I'm just gonna demonstrate it. I'm just gonna pull this plug out and show you. Just stick a thing down in there, and that's it. We ain't gonna go through the whole rest of it because they're all a little bit different. You just kind of got to read an owner's manual to do, but that's how you check the bar oil in a conditioner mower, or even a pull type mower that doesn't fold up, that's not 3-point. So let's take this plug out. Pull the socket off. It's hard to do this one-handed. Alright. Gotta be careful, you don't want to get trash down there if you can help it. I try to blow it off as much as I can to get it, to keep from getting anything in there. Once you get the plug out, you just take something and just make sure I get that cleaned off. You just kind of dip it down in there, and then it'll come up with so much, which I've got to let this one down so that way the oil will drain backwards towards the other side. Right now it's tilted all the way forward, so it's not going to show anything. But I'll do that here in just a second. It's a little bit easier to get underneath here and show all this with this thing up in the air rather than, and hold a camera too, rather than on the ground. It gives me a little more headroom. But that's that. I'll show y'all how to change the blades in a minute. Show y'all something with these mowers. A lot of people still don't use the quick change blades. This mower has quick change blades. It has a bar and a spring loaded little thing down here that out of tempered metal that holds up to keep these blades from coming off. If you ever buy a new mower, do not buy one with nuts and bolts on them anymore. Get them with the quick change blades. They are worth it just in time and labor to do this. I can put a whole new set of blades on this thing in no time. I can flip them in less time. You just stick this bar in here, you push down, I put my knee on top of it, you pull the blade up. I'm just flipping these because one side's still brand new. Let up, you're done. No more digging out nuts, try and take them off, try and flip them over and swap them that way. Let's go down here to this one. You stick your bar in, get it up in there, you push the spring loaded piece down, you flip your blade over. You wonder what's in there? There it is. There's how it works. It's just got a little tab. It's about like a bolt does. You stick that in there, drop your blade on, let up. You're done. There is no more frustrations with this thing. I do not, both of our mowers have this. We used to always have just taps and bolts, and I wouldn't trade that for nothing. Every mower we get from now on is gonna have it. Well, we got the blades flipped. We got her cleaned up. Got the gearbox oil checked. Got the bar oil checked. Did have to add a little bit to the bar, not much. Checked the belt tension springs. Right here's the belts. There's 3 of them. A lot of people don't like belts. I like belts. The reason why I like belts is slip clutches, cutouts, and things such as like a slip clutch are very expensive to fix. Belts are very cheap. I know those things like the Krone we had a drive shaft. If it had belts, that mower would probably still be on this farm and still running today. But slip clutches, cutouts, things like that do fail. They do seize, even if you grease them, and they can destroy machinery if they do not work properly. Belts are pretty well fail safe. They're also very cheap to replace. You got to think about those things. I know some of the stuff seems really nice, but sometimes the old school ways work better in the long run, especially when it comes to expense of running a machine. The way you adjust those belts, the tension is right here off this nut. There's a lock nut right here, and you measure this gap from the top of here to the bottom of this plate to set it. This one is perfect. It's tight. No wear on it from last year, from the time I set it till now. Believe it or not, I was actually shocked myself when I seen that. Whoop. This whole thing just sits around and hooks back up there, and you take bolts and you tap it back in, or tighten them back down, which we'll do that. I'll do that here in a minute. But got that done. The only thing I have not looked at, which I have not had to, as I recall, had to replace any of these yet. If I have, it's only been 1, maybe 2. I don't even ever remember replacing any of these things yet. These beaters, this is 2015 model. This will be the 4th season coming up through this mower. We use it quite a bit. Have yet to have to replace any of the beaters. They are steel. They're not plastic or poly or anything like that. They're made out of metal. The beaters, though, we haven't had to replace any of them. We've been very fortunate with that. I thought that these things would be kind of like fluffer teeth. You'd have to replace 3 or 4 or 5 of them a year, maybe. 3 years in, or 3 seasons into this thing, haven't replaced a 1. They do get a little bit out of whack sometimes, like that. And I'll have to take a hammer and knock them back into their slot. They've got a rubber bushing right here that helps take some of the shock off of them if something hits it. And they got a bolt, 1 bolt that runs up between them, and you just slide these pieces up in there, and you can buy them, make them, whatever you want to do. And they just pop in there and pop out. Got a 1/2 inch bolt on each side, or 13 mil. That you put them in there. Sometimes they'll get caught a little bit, and I'll take a hammer and knock them back, and they'll straighten back out. They do a pretty good job drying hay down, fescue hay, stuff like that. You don't really need crush rollers. The coon we had them. Really, all you really need rollers for is like alfalfa or something with a delicate leaf crop to it. Something like that. As far as like fescue, orchard grass, rye, stuff like that, the beaters are actually better. They'll crimp and break, kind of crimp the stalks in certain locations, and they're actually a little bit better on to use than the actual rollers. Less maintenance. One reason why we went away from the rollers, which I've told this before, is our coon that we had, or we'd still have that mower today. It was in very good condition when it left. One of the rollers had started to unravel. The rubber came off. It was cheaper to trade that mower in, buy a new tine conditioner through Claas, than it would be. It's basically gonna be the same money to put the rollers in it. versus the trade-in value. If we just traded it in and on a new machine, we would spend the same amount on putting new rollers in that one as we could just get a whole new machine. There's very little difference, so we just got the whole new machine and let that one go down the road. But it was an excellent, good mower. The only problem I had with the Kuhn conditioner, cannot remember the model number on it. These two gearboxes split. They actually broke in part, and then right here, this part broke on it, on the tongue, on that machine. That was one reason why we went back to 3-point. It was a bar machine. The problem with a bar machine is if you're on rougher ground with terraces or hills or something where it's going to be flexing a lot, those machines have to be crimped up real tight to the bar so it doesn't allow a lot of flex this way. So as the mower twists and goes over stuff, the necks will float. Well, with those machines, they have to be held tight, or the bar or the gearbox mount will just be flopping everywhere all of the bar, and it will wear the bars out and eventually break them. So they've got to be tight so they don't have a lot of flex going this way. Now, I have seen some pretty cool new designs on those where they actually will allow them to flex a little bit, but that was why we went with a 3-point this go around. I like the 3-point mount a lot better. It can flex. It's on a pin, side to side, up and down. You got all the flex you need. Keeps a lot of stress off of that, and those parts are expensive. The way we solved the towing problem, which I've showed this before, but for all the new people, we had this thing made. Chain Equipment actually had one of these, and they sent us theirs that was a homemade, and we copied it. It's got 2 screws on each side. You slide these in and out. Category 2 pieces welded on it. You put this in your receiver hitch and hook it right up. They work great. You just stick it on the back of your truck that way. You can pull it anywhere you want to go with anything. And it's just like the receiver hitch style, and then you get the flex, and then if, say, you want to pick the neck up higher or lower, you can. You're not set at one setting. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. We'll see y'all next time.